fact he got buffed, his Blade Fury is a little bit more valuable, though you'll still see Juggernauts forego the extra levels in Blade Fury in exchange for stats.
5 seconds.
Still questioning what that mid hero is going to be. I feel like maybe you'd have a little bit too much melee if you go for the DK, though you would have a ton of sustain. I mean, good lord, just think about the value of those percentage-based heals of Winter Wyvern and Juggernaut. And IG, I
love this.
I actually wanted to say Luna. I can't believe it didn't say it.
You would have.
I'm not sure if I agree with it though.
No, I
it's the
fully
same
agree
thing
with
as
this.
it's same thing as the Monkey Business Alchemist last pick. It is a lot of amazing team fight. It is also a nice like right-clicking hero if you do get like doomed up, but you have the sustain of your like lifesteal later on into the game. Like you just keep going. I am concerned though that the focus damage of Ogre Magi, Winter Wyvern, Doom, Juggernaut, like this is a lot of single target. They'll be able to take out the Luna pretty quickly, and then you're left with the SF to try and carry you through. But that's also a side benefit, right? Is the fact that they do have this other big physical damage dealer on the side of IG and in DK Scuderia. You can't just go, we take this one hero out and we've won the team fight. There goes all their damage, because that's not going to be the case here. It does mean a little bit. Oh, there's the Invoker. So
answers your question. They want to go with it. You know, I actually got really excited because I saw the Luna pick up, and I'm like, oh wow, this is actually going to be the aggro trial lane I thought IG could run, and then I realized that this is a core Undying, which means it isn't the aggro trial lane.
Yeah, the IG will alternate. They have run 4 position Undying in the past, I believe, but I think they actually more likely run it as the
it's the core. It's Luo running north, so it's most definitely the core for them. Ferrari gets to run the SF in the mid, and Sean's going to be in charge of stacking, rotating, and basically ensuring the kill on the Invoker. And if you can land that fissure, you should be able to find yourself the kill. Like, there shouldn't be that much of a problem.
Yeah. The Undying, I think, is way more valuable as an offlaner than the Earthshaker when you're not dealing with some sort of try versus try scenario. The Undying is able to pull a lot more pressure in the lane, while the Earthshaker is actually much better at roaming. So they both kind of benefit in a way. They're able to do more with their lanes. It's only when there's a lot of aggression in the laning phase that you want that Undying as support, and the Earthshaker is the offlaner then, because you want him to pick up the faster Blink Dagger to try and counter out the aggression of the enemy team and find, start going towards that mid-game initiation.
I still can't finish my net worth key. Sorry, I'm actually distracting myself by having it screw up on me. Yeah.
The game is on.
Don't worry, I'll tell you the net worth, Toby.
Thanks.
Besides, we have cameraman Scriff. Who cares what you see?
We do. When we have cameraman Scriff, everything works perfectly. He's
with his beautiful handwriting.
It's
Is that supposed to be a heart?
I know, it looks more like an apple.
That's the ugliest, good lord.
Oh, there we go. Now he takes
some sort of abomination
Now
heart.
he takes the time, but
it's not Halloween yet, Scriff. Jesus.
That actually could have actually passed for a pumpkin. Oh, see, now you made Scriff sad, Cap. Thanks, Cap.
I mean,
thanks.
Scriff was lagging earlier, so
that's not his fault. That's the wall.
I mean, he should probably just connect to Perfect World better.
Yeah, come on, Scriff. Get your act together, man. All right, so we're back on the live stream. So welcome everyone back.
Yeah, for those of you guys who missed out because the live stream was down.
Yeah.
I did call every single pick and
I will back him up.
Feel free to create a Reddit thread in honor of my greatness.
There's no Dota TV audio which could actually back us up. Oh wait, there actually is.
I mean, I did call the Invoker at least.
Yeah, you called the Invoker.
I called the Invoker. I wanted to call the Luna.
In his mind,
in my mind, it was there. Top lane,
Luna's in a lot of trouble. Yeah, he's still got the decay where he can get a little life back, and the Sorb's also available. But how much can you really tank up? Not enough. That Wyvern's last attack will do the work, and DK take the first spot here against IG. To also put into perspective just how much this game means, if DK can take game 1, and then game 2 actually means something. IG need 1 point to secure #1 position and stop DK from contesting the 2nd position in the group. If DK go to 0 in this, they get the 3 points and force a 3-way tie in the China qualifier. This is only for this group. These are the last games for this group being played out right now.
I wasn't joking, and in 5 minutes I expect a Reddit thread.
Don't do it, Reddit.
The problem is, like, Luo in so many situations would be able to survive against that, except for the fact that it's Juggernaut. Like, Juggernaut just has so much kill potential because Blade Fury does an absurd amount of damage. Like, it's 400 damage, right? 400 damage at level 1 for the full duration. So, yeah,
They're coming again.
Yeah, and he's going to be caught, especially with the double damage. He's down.
Wow. Yep, there's nowhere to run out this one. They just keep him stunned up. The Blade Fury goes to work again, and Sora just can't do the work. So you got Blade Fury, huge amounts of damage, and you've got Ogre Magi with a double damage rune. It's just, it's the crazy lane, and this is where I'm actually wondering too.
Wait, what has Chuan been doing?
Chuan has been sitting around waiting for the gank in mid. He's already burned his clarity, he's doing so, but he can be pulling this lane back by Fissure blocking out the lane. Give the extra experience over to the Undying, and
that's really not the play. The gank wasn't coming. They were going to be sitting on that top lane to shut down the Undying. They have to. They can't just leave Undying against a Juggernaut. So then Chuan should be sitting in the middle lane, yes, but he should be stacking. But he hasn't stacked.
Wait, are there actually no...
There's no stacks.
Okay.
So, like, yeah, if you're going to be sitting in middle lane, you definitely stack. Like, I was thinking, okay, Chuan, he's going to be stacking for the SF this whole entire time, so there is that. But 3 minutes have gone by, no stacks whatsoever. If he's not going to be stacking, he might as well be top.
He's too late for this stack today. He's sitting in front of the camp. There's another 40 seconds till he can actually, like, stack up this camp. And maybe it's the mindset of IG. It's like, well, okay, we're going up against Invoker, and Ferrari's like, you know what? I know Invoker through and through. I know how awesome this hero is, and I know how easy it is to gank him up, so all he's going to need is just one good Fissure, and Ferrari should get the upper hand here, but he's not able to do so. It's 18-12 up against 12 for 6 on the CS. Invoker's doing so much better than I thought he was going to.
Oh, poor Doom. He's really hoping to get a useful creep, but he's just going to get the...
You know what he needs? It was the creep of yes. Like, no, he doesn't want the troll. He wants the golem. The golem is where it's at.
No. He had the golem, Toby.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Why did he give up the golem? Everyone wants the golem. It's a range stun with no mana cost to a Doombringer.
Yeah, but you would much rather have, like, HP regen to survive better in lane, or armor would be pretty decent.
He's got 3 of that from the ring.
But notice the ward that was placed, the medium camp blocked out. This is fairly common. You pull as a support, but you don't check to see if they camp because it's a little bit rare to have it blocked out. You pull, you go for the double pull, and then it's like, oh, the medium camp isn't actually there. And now the creepy equilibrium goes to the Doom's favor, and he gets a lot of experience.
Luo's going to die again. At the same time in the bottom lane, the prep has been there to try and pick off this Doombringer. But they're really trying to force the issue very early on. Now, there's still a lot of fake Dooms in here that can pull the aggro up.
Do something about that bottom
so it's taking a very long time for IG to do this, and they're waiting for the moment for Chuan to throw out the Fissures. They go with a Poison Touch, another Lucent Beam. It is level 2, but with Scorcher regeneration kicking in, the denial on this bottom tower actually missed. They do not get the denial. They TP him the Ogre Magi. So I actually thought for a moment the DK would just be like denying the bottom tower, having 3 kills for their safe lane early on, and the only push on the Luna was just taking way too much time from IG.
Absolutely not.
It was a really good read by the Doom. I thought he was going to end up dying there, but he popped the Scorched Earth just before Chuan was about to Fissure, and as soon as you get that HP regen, I mean, it's just such an absurd amount, you can't actually go into the Doom anymore. Undying.
They're going again?
This time around, he's fine.
Only just, though. Like, these TPs out, it's a good thing there's no extra stuns. Because there really is nothing. Like, you Splinter Blast, like, until you get Curse up for the Wyvern, that's the only stun. Even level 6 from the Juggernaut won't give you that mini stun like it used to. Imagine if that actually came back. Juggernaut would be tier 1 pick again. Like, giving Blade Fury damage, early aggression, and you get that extra stun.
Haste rune for wrong.
Yeah, that's going to let him escape from Ferrari.
Top tower's in bad shape.
It's not really a bad position, though, for Ferrari. He's still sitting just shy of 3k net worth, neck and neck with a Juggernaut. So he's only got 1 stack in his camp. This is where the flash farming of Ferrari is not going to kick in.
All right, Luo, this time around, he's going to get help.
It's a lot of support TPing in, however. The Fissure will go, but it was too early. The spin was still going, so the stun never connected.
Yeah, meanwhile, in middle lane, they're going to try and run down Ferrari here with the Ogre tanking up the tier 1 tower. It should be a fairly easy kill, as a Tornado and the right click from the Ogre Magi is enough to get the kill. But yeah, I mean, the Earthshaker's in that position where he's like, he has to throw out just to get the block. Otherwise, you know, it's not really worth it. Yeah, if he waits until the spin is done, but then he can't hit the block, there's still no kill potential either. So the scary thing is going to be that both of these carries have insane kill power once they hit level 6. Omni Slash versus the Luna's Eclipse.
Yep. Both reliant, though, on isolating heroes.
But this oftentimes means that you can leave your carry alone in lane if you just have some aggressive vision, which they may do with Rabbit in the bottom lane. You can already see the ward that they placed down there. They can't leave Rabbit alone this far forward, though. So if the creep wave starts pushing back, maybe even Luna goes back and farms up the jungle for a little bit. I'm also interested to see what kind of build he goes for.
You mean the Luna?
Yeah.
You think you just go for extra damage output. He's actually got a Quelling Blade?
Yeah.
Plus going for the Morbid Mask.
This is him going to be taking advantage of the jungle. He needs a level Moonglaive, though, if he really wants to efficiently farm the jungle. So
he also can't really properly efficiently farm it until level 12. Because you went that extra point up into the Lunar Blessing. So you can't get the 4 points up in Moonglaive and get your bounces up to 6.
Well, you only need 1 level to start doing jungle pretty efficiently, I would say.
But if you have any intention of farming up stacks, you're going to need to have those 4 points up.
Yeah, sure. But the stacks are going to go to the SF for the early time.
True.
Speaking of that, he's cleared through his hard cam stack, but I think that was only like 2 or 3 times stacked.
It was only 2.
Yeah, he really hasn't gotten that much farm ahead.
He's only neck and neck with the Juggernaut. And we're seeing this build again. I still remember what you said to me a very long time ago. Bottom lane, the Dazzle. He's actually doomed up for the moment, and he'll actually just die. But I remember when we were actually playing games when you first came to the JD studio, and Juggernaut was one of these heroes which I just started farming with and picked up Battle Fury on, and you were so against it at the time. And now it's the common thing for the Juggernaut. It's actually the common build.
Is this hashtag Toby was right?
No, I'm not. Well, the game has changed since then. I'm not going to sit there on my high horse and say, you know what, Cat? I obviously saw this coming. I was just like Beastie Boys. I was ahead of my time.
No, but yeah, we're probably going to see the Juggernaut go for a Battle Fury and play the farm game. DK Scuderia go into the late game pretty efficiently. I mean, Doom as an offlaner is so much more valuable than the Undying.
Yep.
And Luna, you know, despite her late game prowess with the bouncing Moonglaives and everything else, is still not going to be good enough, I would say. As it's just the extra cores of DK Scuderia that makes the difference.
Yep. And this timing for IG is really off. Like, you talk about the Undying and the Doombringer, like how Doombringer is just so much more effective. The Undying, the whole idea behind him was picking him up so then your team fight, when you 5-man up for IG, is going to be really strong. But the Meg timing for Ferrari, because he didn't have all these stacks set up by Chuan, is fairly behind where he wants to be at the moment. You've got the Buckler up and running. He hasn't brought down, like the bottom tier 1 tower went down, but there's no real pressure on the mid. And more than likely, DK are going to be fighting before Ferrari's just able to sit there and continuously farm up into the mech. So I'm worried he's behind the times. Luna is going into this greed build by picking up the Helm of the Dominator. So all she wants to start doing is stacking. That's this one little dire range creep, which is moving over right now to the Ancient area.
Well,
Which, by the way, you can actually get even more greedy with. You can actually now dominate catapults as well.
Yeah,
They're
I think
actually really good for stacking.
DK can fight, but I don't think they will. They can fight just because they're far enough ahead. I mean, the Winter Wyvern is above the Zombie Man in net worth. That's a pretty absurd difference. But I don't think they want to, just because it's a bit too much of a risk. There's so much team fight potential on the side of IG. I think if I was on DK Scuderia, I would feel very comfortable just sitting back, you know, farm out the Battle Fury on the Juggernaut, play the passive game, and just make sure you don't lose towers. I think that's the one big thing, is that DK need to keep this middle tower intact and be sure that, because it's not only just about map control and being able to get a safe lane in middle for the Invoker, but it's also about controlling the Roshan Pit. And that's going to be one of the better opportunities for DK Scuderia to actually have an advantage where IG get their strongest, right? When they get into like 25, 30 minutes in, you're looking at like the BKB on the Luna and the BKB on the SF as well. That's really where they're going to hit a certain kind of peak. But if you have an Aegis on DK Scuderia, you essentially say, okay, if you're going to fight into us, you're at a huge disadvantage.
I just don't want to
Or
turn this
you
into a
wait 5
farming game.
minutes.
And DK aren't. Like, they're going to smoke up. If you keep the ganking coming, you force rotations like this. Now it's a 5 fight here, and Ferrari, the Omni Slash, he's Isaiah, they get the curse over on Dazzle too. Ferrari, he's got the 1 charge, but it will not be enough to survive, and they keep coming in 1 by 1. The Eclipse from Rabbit is being spread out, and then the Embrace is on Ogre so he'll survive to get another stun over here on Sean. The Tombstone will be making a lot of problems though for DK, but you have the Undying fighting it out. It lets Wyvern go into the tree lines. Another Splinter Blast just bouncing around with the Invoker towards the front lines. They just keep this battle going as Luo, he's actually quite strong with a vision from Chuan. They can't reach him anymore. The Sentry Ward, the Invoker will run out of range. Now it goes for the Urn. Chuan is too far away, and DKS will just back themselves out of here. It ended up being a 3-for-3 trade-off for the fight, though.
Slightly more gold going to IEG, a little bit more experience going to DK Scuderia, but I feel like that was an unnecessary risk from DK Scuderia. I do agree that they should, like, when they have Omni Slash Doom and Winter's Curse, that they should try and go for a gank and, like, just a quick 1 or 2 pickoff, but diving into the tier 2, tier 1 tower is pretty dangerous. You saw the way that fight was very close to going against IEG. Better block off, they get the Invoker, and that's that would have been a big win for IG.
I just thought DK had a lot more hit and run potential. Like, you just come in, you grab the kill, you get the hell out. The TP support comes in from IG and you disengage. Like, use EMP Tornado to just push back IG out of the fight and then go back out to your farming and interrupt IG's movement and momentum. You may always make them wonder, like, do we have to keep one support protecting the mid? Now IG feel really confident to push because they've got the full mech over on that SF. Rabbit feels even stronger after getting the 2 kills in the mid lane. Yeah, he doesn't have Eclipse, but IG still feels strong with what they've got, that they can take out this tier 1 tower and force the issue. No Winter Wyvern's Curse up yet. It's coming off cooldown now. Omni Slash still on cooldown for 20 seconds time, so the time is not really to fight there, but Luo's in a great position to drop a Tombstone behind DKS.
Yeah, they knew they had a big advantage with all those ultimates being off cooldown. They're just now coming up, but it seems like they've gotten enough control of the tier 1 tower that...
Are they going? Okay, I thought for a moment, because Omni Slash was coming off cooldown, that you'll actually have the Juggernaut just TP to the front lines.
No, okay, you're right in that DK Scuderia can force fights, but as you said, it's hit and run. You got to focus on that aspect, which is hit and run is ganking, right? It's not necessarily full-on team fights. Full-on team fights are way too dangerous for DK Scuderia to take right now. The gank in the middle lane, it's those kind of ganks that you want to see, not underneath tier 1 towers, though. If you can go for that, you can find that gank, say, in the enemy jungle or something like that. That's going to be the ideal position for DK Scuderia. You hit every 2.5 minutes with your ultimates, pickoffs,
Here they come.
1 or 2, and that's about it.
This is their pickoff attempt. Another smoke gank coming out from DK. And they drop down the Obs Ward. And this will give them the vision of Ferrari and Luo moving downwards. But it also tells them that no one from IG is here to defend the top tower. So if they are going to fight this, it's again underneath the tier 1 tower in mid, or it's under the tier 2 tower on top, or it's not at all. And they're probably going to go for the option of not at all, because they're also seeing IG creeping up to smoke right on top of the Dire Observer Ward. They're going to back up, but if the heroes go missing for just a little bit longer, like, they'll just know exactly what's going on. This is really good warding from DK. And yeah, they're already moving out. The Doombringer has his Midas as well as Devour. He's building in for the Aghanim Scepter. The Midas is done over on the Invoker. TK are just wanting time. And IG have now smoked up.
Yeah, they really don't want to force that many fights. I mean, they've got double Midas and a Battle Fury. Those 3 different farming items on the side of DK Scuderia.
Great positioning for Wrong. This is such a horrible position for IG as well. They have to walk up the hill to try and take these fights. So their smoke is broken, and DK back behind the towers. Wrong needs to come out for a little bit of extra vision, but it is now turning into daytime. So, okay, in fact, they just bail out of here.
Yeah.
They're just going to go for the straight tower trade-off, which is perfectly all right.
Especially since the Doom can rotate into the jungle and start farming that up and let QD take the lane creeps and push down the tower real quickly. And if IG go for more, well, that's actually kind of the question, right? Do they go for more? I think they have to push tier 2
or do they come back to
force this into a 2 versus 1. It's dangerous to TP to a tower that's so low, and a tower that, especially the safe lane towers, the enemy team, when they're pushing them, can wrap around. So as you TP in, you're surrounded. It's a bad position to be in. if anything, I think they should have kept going and forced some damage on the tier 2 and made DK Scuderia back up, or dare them to go for a tier 2 as well, in which case IG takes that first, because their pushing power is stronger. It's the power of the Luna aura. 22 damage across 5 heroes is a significant margin.
And the confidence of this DK as well as Juggernaut. Look at the observer warding they've got down for DK. So you got one observer ward watching close on the camps, you got one up on the high ground, and you've got another one that's down inside the Radiant jungle. So with all 3 of these wards, they see when IG move out to do anything. If they're farming, if they're pushing, everything gets scattered out. And allows this Doombringer to stay as offensive as he wants to be with the Juggernaut, who's already finished up his Battle Fury. And the Doombringer is now 1,500 gold away from having his full Aghanim Scepter.
It looks great right now, but you do have to worry.
I take it back, he's actually closer than that. He's only 300 gold away.
You do have to worry a little bit that... Actually, I guess the middle lane ward is pretty close to dying, so it's not like they committed 2 very fresh wards to that kind of aggressive vision, because you know IG are going to get aggressive probably in the next 3 to 5 minutes and try and push down another tier 2.
Like, Ferrari's got nothing. He just had all of his mana burnt out. He's got bottle charges as well as wand charges, but look where IG is again. They smoked right on top of the Observer Ward. This Observer Ward scouted out 2 smoke movements of IG.
Looks like they're going to go for Roshan, but this can be a very easy defense for DK. They don't have the greatest contesting team, but Invoker is obviously amazing at it. When you already have the pre-knowledge.
That Observer Ward might be able to allow IG to fight this quite nicely. So level 2 Requiem plus having the mech and the haste rune over on Ferrari means a superior position during the fight. And DKS still haven't cottoned onto this. They're pinging out saying, like, where the hell are they? Chuan is by himself. They really are so uncertain about this that IG are going to take Roshan without any kind of contest.
They have to know about it.
No, they think it's a smoke gang. They think it's a smoke gang.
No, but it doesn't really matter, right? Your positioning is what matters. If you see them break right on a smoke, that means you sit yourself up on the cliff, you wait for them to run into that smoke, and if they don't do that, that means they're doing Roshan. Like, almost 90% chance. So maybe they felt like they weren't confident enough to take that team fight given the strength of the Undying and Luna. I thought that they would have been able to given the pre-knowledge and you just like throw down Tornado EMP and see what happens from there. But
well, they're coming down. That Observer Ward saw Rabbit moving and they're keeping their distance just so the smoke doesn't break. I'm not sure about this from DKS. You are right, like they misread the smoke intention from IG. And now they smoke themselves to battle on this top lane, but they don't see it. They don't find the opening because the Luna backed up. And IG now, with an Aegis Immortal in the hands of Ferrari, they can force DKS to do what they don't want to do, a 5v5 fight.
Yeah, what DKS really wanted to do was stop they saw the rotation of Rabbit to the top lane. If they can smoke and catch him, because they know he's the one that doesn't have the Aegis, if they catch him, they stall the push from IG for a good minute and a half, and that's a lot of wasted time with your Aegis.
This Juggernaut's going to move over to mid now. Like, he wants to keep pushing at the bottom lane, but because he TP'd to that bottom lane, okay, they are still going to get the tier 2 tower on top. Missing the last hit doesn't look really the greatest thing for the Doombringer. And maybe this isn't enough to stop IG from forcing the issue. Because the Doom is just going to keep sitting up here and pushing. He won't TP back until he sees like IG coming for him, or IG push so hard he has to come back.
Yeah, unless you see an opening where your Winter Wyvern with the Splinter Blast and the EMP Tornado has actually provided a significant opening, I think you're okay with DK Scuderia just split pushing away. You've taken a tier 2 already at the top lane, you're going to pressure the tier 3 and tier 2 at bottom lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good with this.
Yeah.
Stay away from the Aegis at all costs.
Yep. So goodbye tier 2 tower in the mid. But trade-off for DKS. Actually inflicts quite considerable damage to that bottom lane. It will be the Luna who TP's in first. But having that mana style already up means she's got the confidence to stand against the Juggernaut, because it can just waste so much of that Omni Slash. And DKS, if you actually look at the golden experience graph, you think IG has the power, but the graph is going considerably the way of DKS here in both gold and experience.
Oh yeah, they picked up those double minuses pretty early. That was a fast Battle Fury for the Juggernaut. And this is naturally going to happen when you're 5-manning quite a bit, and you don't even have that much of a tower lead. They've lost their tier 2 at top lane. They only have 3 outer towers left on the side of IG.
They didn't take Roshan's. They didn't get the gold from that either.
Yeah. So it's not terribly surprising that IG are actually behind in in gold right now, just because DKS are always going to be farming much more efficiently between minuses and spread out heroes.
Yep. What do you actually think about this Juggernaut? Because it looks like he's... Like, I'm assuming this is going to be an S and Y now.
Yeah, I think... let's see, we saw
is
Manta earlier.
Is there a point to Manta when you're going up against something like a Luna?
No, it's really, really bad. In fact, it would be such a bad item pickup, I believe.
You'd actually empower the Luna with the glaives because you get more bounces, or you'd have the chance of the bounces.
And Earthshaker.
Yeah.
More Echo Slam targets. So it's got to be an S and Y. We saw Manta earlier on a Juggernaut, but that was because he was facing up against Queen of Pain with a really fast Orchid and Rabbit.
This is the third stack they've taken. Yeah, Rabbit's not in the greatest position. Juggernaut finishes the stack and then just TPs out. They're taking no risks here, DKS at all. They know what's on the line. They have to win this first game. If they do not, then they have no chance of qualifying in for the major. If they do, they force the tiebreaker. That's, of course, if they go 2-0. They keep the hopes alive to force the tiebreaker, I should say.
I was going to look at, so I was looking at the Doom and going, you know, I think you do go Blink Dagger here, but I wasn't quite that confident about it. Both of these rather squishy agility heroes on the side of IG are need both their abilities and their items to come into play. Like, you kind of want the Mech BKB for the SF. Obviously, he's got that great ultimate for team fights. The damage reduction is amazing. And then the Luna has Eclipse. So the initiation is a pretty key part for DKS's strategy, and it's something that they're lacking. So I think the Doom had to go to a Blink Dagger, despite the fact that, you know, you would love to see a much more tankier Doom where he's able to go like the Shiva's build or something like that. But Blink first, Shiva's probably next pickup for him, as it pairs really well with the Blink Dagger and the AoE, especially against heroes like Earthshaker, who are dependent on that Blink Dagger, is going to be great control.
Do you then feel confident enough as well that the Juggernaut's going to have enough damage on this field that you can go for something more like the Scythe of Vice on the Invoker instead of having to go something like a Scuderia for this guy and make him into a fighter?
Yeah, I think Scythe of Vice is fine for the Invoker in this game. If you jump in and doom somebody, and then you also have like the Tornado EMP followed up by Scythe of Ice, you've got two cores potentially controlled, and you also have the Winter's Curse for anybody who BKBs. Right, so you could potentially control the two damage dealers of IG, and as the game goes later, the DKS will care less and less about the Earthshaker and Undying, who are more teamfight oriented, especially the Undying.
IG just another smoke which gets scouted out as Super takes out the Observer Ward that was down, but it's the perfect position for DKS. They break the smoke. Now Ferrari, this is his 10-second BKB, but you already had the force up on the Invoker, so he pushes the Okamajai away, and Doom, he turns around. He wants to try and fight this one. The Eclipse will go, and it's over on the Luna. They need more damage out from this one. The Omni Slash is still up, and the Curse, it locks down the Luna. Now into the Omni Slash. Rabbit will be kept alive for the Shallow Grave, but Ferrari, a huge wind-up for the ulti. But where is your follow-up damage? It doesn't really come in. The Mech Charge will trigger here for IG. They have lost two heroes now. They do have that Blink Echo. In fact, Chuan never got it off. So 2 heroes lost for IG. DK keep everyone alive. But Ferrari really just made it so the fight wasn't even worse for IG.
Oh, Scorched Earth, it's a hell of an ability. Like, he just wanders in there, and Chuan, who's sitting in the trees, is waiting. Like, he's got this perfect opportunity for a great Echo Slam, and he's just waiting on the cooldown, and then the Scorched Earth starts taking him away. He can never jump out. Then he gets spotted, and it just all goes so terribly. I thought that was going to be a bit too risky for DKS, though. That very easily could have turned the opposite direction if you had that kind of Blink Echo Slam in such a clutch area. It's a great zombie fighting ground. Even uphill, that doesn't necessarily mean you have an advantage for DKS, but they did target the Luna down very nicely. Had to pop double ults for it, but it was well worth it in the end to stop that big damage dealer.
Yeah, it's just one of those fights for IG. It just doesn't work for them, and now you see it being not only 3-10 on the kill board, but it's 8,000 net worth and roughly 7.5k the experience game for DKS. The next Roshan's going to come up very, very soon. It's about it's like 45 seconds away from the potential spawn time. But IG, in the current position, they're probably not going to have enough confidence where they can contest DKS for this. Because that Doom is getting really damn big. Do you just spend more money? It's the Ogre Club. It actually looks like he's going for a BKB. There's an Ogre Club over on the Courier for the Doombringer.
Oh, huh. Okay.
So we get BKB Doom. The Juggernaut already has a Blink Dagger now to go with his Battle Fury and his SMY. And the Invoker has 2.2k gold on himself.
Yeah.
Still holding onto that casual ultimate orb.
What's great about this BKB is now he can just run in and he can doom the SF and pop the BKB for the Luna ultimate, or he could just like target down the Luna and use that BKB and make sure that like no one's able to stun him up or anything.
Yeah.
With the critical damage he gets out of the Wolf Aura, he gets the kill.
Fisher doesn't get a block off here. The Lucent Beam will slow down Okamajai, but he's just so damn tanky. 14 armor they got to get through. They leave an Observer Ward behind while he's running away. I don't know if IG actually scoured this out, but it means if IG chase it, DKS have all the advantage they need as far as vision goes. Then they do find something else. This Doombringer triggers a Scorched Earth and Juggernaut moving a long way forward. The Tornado doesn't pick up anyone, and they'll find Lure, but his Tombstone is well forward, which means it's very easy to pick up until Chuan jumps in for the double Echo Slam. The Curse will buy the space, but the Tombstone is still alive. The Requiem Souls DKS had to back up from it, but they still haven't lost anyone yet. The Juggernaut just runs himself away. They're losing their armor because of the weave, but there's nothing more to give. Ferrari is now doomed up to this. No raises to offer. He still has the mech, but that Fissure block perfectly there by Chuan will allow him to finally get at least some level of revenge. And that's in the Okamajai, and what a dangerous time to fight. Roshan spawned up almost instantly in that 3-minute block. So if they lost this fight and someone scouted out Roshan, it'll be a very quick Rosh. Now it's scouted out by the Dire side.
IG will reveal Roshan as well, but it's going to be an awkward standoff. I don't think DKS can take this fight again. They're so dependent on their ultimates, and they've already used all of them.
But there's also no Eclipse and there's no Requiem.
Yeah, but I think the natural fighting power is...
They're coming in.
Still the IG's favor, but maybe the net worth advantage for DKS can make it up.
Tornado's gonna just start screwing around with IG. They get a lot of armor. That weave is almost at its maximum duration, and they chase after Chuan. He gets the Fissure off with a follow-up stun, so Juggernaut can't really kill off Chuan, and now they have to run themselves away. Roshan down to 400 life. The EMP burn's gonna kick in, so there's no mana for IG, but they have the Aegis model on the SF, and all 5 heroes still alive. So DKS just back up. The Tombstone was also down for IG, so DKS did not want to move into that fight.
Yeah, I agree with DKS not going into the Roshan pit there. The choice to see if they can get the quick pick off on Chuan and then see where the fight leads was the right one, but of course Chuan has that Glimmer Cape save from Luo.
IG going for like a tier 3 tower push here?
Yeah, I mean they do feel very much the clock ticking up and up and up, because DKS will have stronger late game.
They just don't have any mana to do this. Like that's my problem. Like Ferrari is still low. There's no bottle charges. Rabbit, he's got enough for 1 Lucent Beam as well as an Eclipse, but when this EMP kicks in, like Ferrari's going to trick the mana style, but he still gets hit. They force up out the Invoker, and now it's just pure physical damage that has to do the work. The Tombstone will buy a little bit of space here, but meanwhile up on top lane, the Juggernaut's already taken out 2/3 of the life of this tower. He can spin and keep going up this, but he's already forced the TP back by Chuan. I think Luna should be very happy she was able to finish her TP as well. But this split push from DKS, it comes so quickly. As like that Juggernaut, you kind of... I underestimate just how much damage he does when he pushes a lane, let alone into a tower.
Yeah, between the Battle Fury and SNY, he's got a lot of stats. There's also the build he maxed out the Blade Fury, but he only has the 1 level in Blade Dance, which obviously if you're hitting buildings, that means a much more efficient damage build, because you can't crit buildings, obviously. The Scythe of Ice will allow more pick-off potential with the Invoker. He's going to be running around looking for Ghostwalk with the gem as well. He'll be able to find all of the vision.
He might be looking for the smoked up heroes.
Do they have any counter vision? They do have counter wards and dust, but it's so unlikely because the Invoker is so fast
that you'd be able to catch him with it. Unless it was the Undying who got caught by it, then you'd have a chance. But look where DKS moved. Like, they saw it. Like, you actually had SF raise the middle lane, which flagged the fact that they were over there. So Doom moves into the tree line. That Observer Ward is still down from before. He triggers the Scorch and jumps in. Can't find the real Rabbit, but the curse is on Ferrari! That's a huge curse on him! The Shallow Grave will keep him alive for now, winding up that Requiem, but Doom put into the Cold Embrace. That'll protect him for now, and the Scorch's regeneration still doing its work, but Ferrari's just too strong. Lure, however, he's not strong enough. That Juggernaut cleaning up all the rest of the illusions. Now he can focus on the real hero. It's the SF, the Aegis more to trigger, but SF is isolated, and Rabbit still ticking through that Doom. The Splinter Blast won't fly down, but they really want this kill with the Cold Snap. They're able to achieve it. The TP out will be there in time. And Ferrari running himself away as quickly as he possibly can. But DKS get the fight, and they will take a tier 2 tower in bottom lane at least.
Yeah, the Doom is so obnoxious when he's got that Aghanim Scepter. Like, he throws it on the Luna, and I swear to God, it lasted like 25 seconds or something. Because he had vision of the Luna for so long, right, it stayed up. The Luna had to exit the fight entirely because he got controlled immediately, wasn't able to get off the Eclipse. And this is the problem, right? Doom deletes one hero. You have the Juggernaut who could potentially delete another hero with the Omni Slash, and that's exactly what he did to the poor Earthshaker. No counter initiate. That was the perfect combo, right? DKS both got the initiation of Winter's Curse on the 2 damage dealers, as well as stop the counter initiation of Chuan.
And I'd be a lot more concerned when Juggernaut finishes this next item. You talk about Doom deleting one hero. When the Abyssal Blade is done for QD, then they delete 2.
Yeah.
Because if you get that Abyssal Bash off on the Shadow Fiend, even the Shallow Grave, like, it's interrupting the Requiem of Souls, and it takes away the 2 big ultis of these heroes.
Blink Abyssal is such a strong initiating, especially on agility heroes, because you not only blink in and you use the Abyssal for the first hit bash in a way, but then you continue to hit on them with such fast attack speed that they will probably get bashed up maybe 2, maybe even 3 times.
Problems. Real problems for IG. 12,000 now is the deficit for both experience and gold. And it just keeps swinging the way of DKS. We wanted to have a second game that meant something, and it looks like we're moving towards that position, Cap.
Yeah, I don't think that IG will be able to come back from this, but we'll see. I mean, if they get a really good team fight, really surprised that Lula's not going... I mean, this is very clearly going into the late game, right? I thought Aghanim Scepter would be what he would build into. He would be kind of halfway there by now.
Is he thinking Scythe here? Or is
no,
he going
he's gone
Eels?
Lincolns.
Okay, so Lincolns?
Lincolns against the Doom.
But that's not going to be enough. Like, doesn't Splinter Blast still triggers it, right?
Splinter Blast, yeah. I mean, you've got a lot of single target abilities.
Yeah.
What, like one really good one, like Cold Snap.
Yep.
Just like instant. Takes off the Lincolns.
Level Death will still do it as well, so even if like the Doombringer feels pressured, he can still use that.
You could see his thought process though, right? If they just get one fight where they remove either Omni Slash or Doom, but they could just turn things entirely around. At
the same time, like, you'd have a better chance using Lotus Orb to reflect it than you will to get a Lincoln Sphere trigger during this fight.
For the Omni Slash, yes. For the Doom, no. I really don't think so. Because the Doom, he's 3 different cores, right?
Oh, the blink timing for Juggernaut's a little bit off. He'll blink forward and Chuan. Well, there's a level death, and Doom's just on the wrong side of this, but Luo dropping down the tombstone. He's just trying to buy himself some space to run away, and he won't. Well, no, he doesn't get it. They send him up in towards the air. The Geometry Sight's over on the Invoker, so they'll see the Undying running out, and there goes Luo. He buys the Lotus Orb recipe.
Okay. All right, we'll see how that works for him.
Feeling good. But then again, he buys that, so there's no buyback available for him, and he's so far away from completing it.
The problem is when the Lotus Orb Doom, it's not gonna. If you Lotus Orb Doom, it's not very effective because the Doom has the Aghanim Scepter, and he's really tanky. He'll have Scorched Earth going at that time. He'll just keep running at the hero that he dooms, right? The Omni Slash will be super nice. But
yeah, but then again, who do you who's it going to reflect on? The Omni Slash goes on. Who?
The Omni Slashes will actually merge together.
Yeah.
Have you seen that before?
But you still have to get the initial target the Juggernaut's going to go on. And that's the little bit more difficult thing, because Juggernaut's not really limited to just attacking. It's like, oh, I have to kill off the SF, I have to kill off the Luna. This Lotus reflects Abyssal, the Abyssal charge.
Yes, it does.
So that'll be the one thing I think it probably can protect. So you just throw that one on the SF and just say, you know what, at least you can get through a full Requiem. If the Juggernaut tries to screw with it, then at least he has to do it through a standard bash.
Oh, I forgot about the Scythe of Ice on the Invoker. That actually gives a lot more value to the Lotus Orb because when you see the Scythe, like being able to remove that Hex.
It's still an instant cast though, isn't it? Oh yeah, you remove it. That's right. Yeah,
so it's just.
I always think about Lotus as a reflect ability, and I always forget about the Purge.
The
removal debuff.
Yeah, I think the Purge is oftentimes sometimes the Purge is more important than the reflect, because what's going to happen is, like, if you see the Scythe of Ice, it's kind of like they're telegraphing who they're going to go on. So you remove that, then you remove the Scythe. It allows the hero to be able to pop their BKB or something, and then turn and fight. And if DKS don't react fast enough as well and stop their follow-up disables, then they're just going to screw themselves.
The Roshan scouting has already begun, but they're doing this before the time is even up. So that's the helm with the dominated creep just sitting in there inside the pit at the moment. And it's going to be a 2-minute spawn time-ish.
Also, I'm not sure why you would, if you're going Motor Sword, why wouldn't you go the plate mail? It's a lot more value to just the value plate mail in the beginning than the Void Stone.
But it is also an Undying who didn't go for the Arcane Boots or Soul Ring. So he doesn't really have, like, a lot of mana to work with.
I just doubt he's ever going to be, like, he should be full mana always, because what else are you going to do? Unless you're actually in a full-on fight, you're not going to be using any of your abilities, right? So
True.
If you get into a full-on fight and the Undying runs out of mana, I'll be very impressed. I'll be very impressed. That'll be a lot of spells he'll throw.
Well, now's his chance. The Observer and Sentry is down. At the same time, the Gem, they had 2 Observers in the same region. So DKS could see both of these. Yeah, they're actually pinging out now from, at least from the Dazzle, saying this Observer Ward got scattered out. Which is kind of funny, because the Observer Wards which are down, there's only one which is unknown. That Observer Ward which is up on the hillside in the top lane was actually scattered by IG, because when it was planted, Winter Wyvern used his Arctic Burn in range of the Creep Wave's vision. So it was already scouted out that he put that ward down. So you won't see Chuan using that tree line to try and prepare some kind of crazy jump-in gank. Even then, it's a very unlikely position he'll do it anyway. Because there's no tier 2. So
the fight over Roshan. It's going to be what it's all about next.
45
Rab
seconds.
already has his dominated range creep sitting inside the pit.
There's something stronger, man. Dominate the catapult. That's what it's all about.
I think you probably get the Talisman of Evasion on Rabbit now in preparation for the Butterfly. You may not complete the Butterfly depending on the skill build of the Juggernaut, but...
I don't know if it's really going to be enough. Like, the Juggernaut just...
I mean,
I suppose you win one fight and DKS win anyway, and there's the initiation. Dazzle, okay, he waited for that last hit. The Gem of True Sight now be picked up by the Ogre Magi, and IG have lost their invis detection.
Fortunately, IG still have this really good anti-gem river ward.
But they don't have great vision now into the Roche pit. So, okay, DK, 3 seconds was all you had to wait for. Someone, like, send a Forge Spirit, or, yeah, okay, walk the Invoker in. Yo, guys, Roshan's up, let's come and kill him. Because without the weave, IG can't really intimidate DKS to stop this.
Yeah, they desperately need that minus armor.
Yeah.
Because then it allows
it's the vision too. It's everything that comes with it.
It's pretty important. Like the AoE minus armor works really well in conjunction with the Moonblades. That's bouncing all over to Luna hits one hero, but she's kind of hitting all of them in a way.
DKS have such a huge advantage.
Oh yeah.
It's getting bigger and bigger. They actually put the Aegis the Immortal on the Omni Knight, on the Juggernaut. Oh, bloody. Ugh. I was actually wondering if they put it onto the Invoker instead, because the Invoker is a little bit easy to kill off, but I suppose we haven't really seen the Invoker anywhere near the front lines. Like, he's always on the back end, just throwing out supportability after supportability.
All right, so Shiva's next to couple with the Blink Daggers we were talking about earlier for the Doom. Refresher probably after that, so we can double delete heroes.
And we're back.
God, this Jugger is so strong. He's still got 5.6k gold as well. And blinks forward into the tower. Spins before Chuan can hit him. But you have the Echo Slam available for the Earthshaker, so they don't want to come too far, especially when this happens. Juggernaut losing 3/4 of his life in under a second.
It's okay though; they can still chip away. Wait out for the next creep wave. That way, you won't have weave on you anymore. Oh, actually, maybe they'll wait out a bit more farm. It'll take a... Oh, no, it won't. Invoker only needs another 500 gold, and he'll have the AC. So then they'll have the double armor items. That's great.
And they just have enough confidence they go now. Because at this point, they're just throttling the creep wave and farming up whatever camps they can reach on the sides. And where they... Funny thing is, though, like, IG still have good split push on their side lanes. And with the damage that Juggernaut takes, the Cold Embrace will keep him alive, and that's why Ferrari's trying to line up until the Doombringer jumps and he gets Ferrari before the BKB got up, and Omni Slash, it doesn't come out. They're going to back themselves out. The Tombstone was committed, and it's so deep. Like, it's behind the melee racks. The DKS can just let this go. They retreat out. They go back to their farming kind of style.
Boy, that was super scary. I can't believe the Juggernaut actually kept the Aegis alive there. I was just about to say, like, oh, you should have waited on the AC, but They kept him alive. They obviously had to use the Doom for it, but it's okay. They'll back up, farm for another 70 seconds. They'll complete the Assault Cuirass. And IG...
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
This is an interesting predicament for them because do they sit back and wait for DKS to push with the Aegis because they know that's going to happen, or do you try and actually force something aggressively and surprise DKS with your initiation?
Well, if DKS weren't grouping up as 5, like their most exposed hero is the Invoker, who's very difficult to kill as it is. So if DKS was split up and you could see this, then you'd go for the picks.
All right, Rabbit does have the Butterfly now. I was looking at the Eagle song, but...
Bottom lane, Rabbit's dead. Butterfly or not, Omnislash will do its work. Actually, Abyssal Blading stunning him in the middle of all this, and Ogre will come in for the kill secure. 70 seconds on the sideline for this Luna, and that is the biggest opportunity DKS are going to have. 2 minutes until the Aegis is going to expire. Push, push, push.
Yeah, when I was kind of like theory crafting what IG should be doing here, splitting up and getting picked off was not one of those things.
I don't think you'll ever say the plan is to die.
Yeah, DKS are now in a... I mean, all but guaranteed position to take a lane of Rax. The only thing that would slow them down is their own caution. And essentially going, oh, do we, you know, push in and try and poke at that Rax? But what if Luna has a buyback, you know, and then we get into a bad fight?
Yeah.
But they shouldn't worry about that. We know there's no buyback, but either way, they should still force it.
Juggernaut, he's losing that armor, but Doom gets the front lines once again. Still has his ultimate, however, so refusing to let it go just yet. And with the Invoker Tornado, now they understand, okay, that's most definitely the real Ferrari, and he will just Doom him up. Ferrari will back up and soak this damage while regenerating inside of their base. The Tombstone's making this a little bit more difficult for DK, but the melee Rex is still losing a lot of life, and Juggernaut commits a spin to ensure it. They get what they came for, they'll back up, and IG, they're in no real position to chase. If they chase, they die. And DKS don't want to stick around any longer because the Aegis Immortal will time out shortly. I guess only got another 45 seconds.
45? Okay.
Yeah. And their mid lane's being attacked too. But IG, they instantly smoked. I think they understand that they're past the clock ticking. Like, the clock is currently broken. They have to just run this and get something. The Wyverns can be the closest thing inside the tree lines. The smoke breaks, they will actually find Bobo out of position. The Fissure will be there, but where's your follow-up? The Echo Slam from Sean, catching out the Juggernaut. Ferrari will move forward, the Tombstone's down. Sean, he actually has to have the Shallow Grave used on him to stay alive for the moment. And, well, there's no real fault until the curse is on Ferrari. They can't move out. That is the fight. That is probably even the game here for DKS. Your buyback is available for the SF, but the Juggernaut's going to go to town on this Luna. There's nowhere to go. The sun strikes up, but Rabbit runs west. This movement speed, phase booster off cooldown. One crit, one attack. He'll probably require 2. Like, there's 350 life to get through, or you can just level death and down. No buyback, and there it is. GG is the call. It was the game. It was a last hurrah fight. And DKS will take game 1 in this 2-game series against IG and keep their hopes alive at the tiebreaker.
I like DK Scuderia. I like what they're doing there. The drafting was pretty smart. I felt like the opportunity that they got in the very beginning, like the Doom pickup, first pick, and they didn't give away that much, was great. I thought the Invoker last pick was a wise decision by them, and just tanking up in general, like the Ogre Magi, Juggernaut, they kind of saw what was going to happen with DK, with IG. If you go for the Undying, very likely they're going to run a team fight strategy because Undying falls off late game otherwise. Yep. So I think they had that entirely planned out. They saw what was going to happen, and their strategy also reflected that, with the way that they were just like, okay, we've won the early game kind of enough that we can afford to get really greedy. We go Battle Fury, double Midases, and we just draw this game out so much by split pushing them, and we'll have such a big net worth advantage that they can't beat us.
Yeah. At least I didn't see one thing, which was IG losing the game for themselves.
That is true.
Because they never really had control of the game. But it comes down to, like, the effect of Sean. I almost feel like he's like that pivot point. Like, Ferrari has always been that one guy which IG turned to because he's so consistent in his play every single time. Ferrari was still a big powerhouse during that game, but you never really felt the effect of the Earthshaker. The Dazzle was there, but it's this very passive kind of style. It's not IG calling the shots and dictating the flow of the game, which allowed DK to do whatever the hell they wanted to.
Yeah,
which
maybe
was
this
sit back
is
and farm.
maybe this is the best way to play against IG from now on. They're very scrappy. They like to force fights quite a bit. But if you play a more like passive gank and back out and farm style, perhaps this is the best way to defeat this team.
Especially when they draft in this kind of manner, where IG cannot control the pace of the game. For now, break time. We'll be coming back, and we'll see if DK can do what most people probably didn't bet their res on. Will they force us into a 3-way tiebreaker in the China qualifier by going 2-0, or will IG claim the 1 point they need to secure themselves #1 position in the group? Stay tuned. We'll be back.